Alright guys, so today I want to talk about why you lose weight and can't keep it off. This is one of the biggest issues today in weight loss, is that people can actually lose the weight. They have no problem losing the weight, but keeping it off is the problem. So people will lose their weight and then they'll go back to their original weight, or they'll surpass it because of the deprivation that they've had in the past. So the first problem with weight loss and weight management is how much fiber they're intaking from day to day. So a person that eats more fiber in their diet is going to have a lower calorie total throughout the day because they're not going to be able to fit as many calories into their stomach as somebody that's eating higher calorie dense foods, and in turn they're going to have a lower weight. If you're a person that's getting no fiber in the stomach, there's going to be no stretch reception going on, and it's not going to signal to your brain that you've had enough to eat. You have to make sure you get enough fiber in the diet so you can lower your calorie total and still feel good and end up at a weight that you want to be at. So I want to take you through how many calories per pound certain foods have, okay? So I'm going to start with raw veggies. Green and yellow vegetables right here. Raw green and yellow vegetables are 100 calories per pound, okay? That is incredibly low. Most people aren't getting enough veggies and green and yellow vegetables in their diet. The second food would be fruit. And that comes in at 300 calories per pound, okay? Super low in calories. Fruit's super low in calories. The next one would be whole starches, such as your potatoes, rice, beans, stuff like that. So I'm just going to put whole starches, WS, and that is going to be between 500 and 600 calories per pound, okay? So these three main food groups are what we would eat if we were out in nature every day and we didn't live in this artificial world where we have our houses and grocery stores and stuff like that. If we were just out in the bush, this is what the mainstay of our diet would be, and we would never ever get fat because the calories are so low per pound that your stomach would fill up on every meal and you wouldn't have enough room to fit any of those empty calories such as sugar, chocolate, candy, McDonald's, pizza, Chinese food. You wouldn't have enough room to fit that into your stomach because the mainstay of your diet would be formed from these three food groups and you'd have a ton of bulk inside your stomach. So let's show you guys some high calorie dense foods. You guys are probably going to be shocked by these numbers. So we'll start off with meat, okay? Meat averages out at 1,200 calories per pound. Meat also has no fiber, so you're not getting any stress reception in your stomach. Next one will be bread. Bread is a highly processed food. It comes in at 1,400 to 1,600 calories per pound. Like, that's an enormous amount of calories for just a pound of food. Pure sugar, 1,800 calories per pound. That's just absolutely outrageous. How about chocolate? What's chocolate? Chocolate is 2,500 calories per pound. Nuts and seeds, 2,800 calories per pound. That is an enormous amount. And what is the most highly dense calorie-based food out there? Pure oil. Oil is the most highly calorie dense food around, and it comes in at 4,000 calories per pound. Okay? Because if the mainstay of your diet is chocolate, candy, chips, pizza, it's going to be really easy to overeat because you're not getting stress reception in your stomach, and in doing so you're not getting that signal to the brain that you've had enough to eat, and you just keep overeating. The second thing is the dopamine cascade in the brain. So the main objective of our brain is to survive, right? So what happens when you eat a higher calorie dense food is it's signaling to you, your dopamine's going off, and it's signaling to you that you should keep eating that food because that's going to give you a higher chance of survival. But today, because we live in modern culture and so much of our food is processed to a point where they're just like 1,200 to 1,800 to 2,700 calories a pound, and your brain and your dopamine circuits are going off saying, oh my God, eat some more of those chips, eat some more of those chips, because that's going to give you the best chance of survival. But in turn, we're not eating naturally anymore, and we become overweight because the calories are now artificial. They're man-made. They're not made like they are in nature. And instead of getting 300 to 500 calories a pound, we're getting 1,800 calories a pound, 2,700 calories a pound. You know, I find it funny in those old Lay's commercials when they used to say, bet you just can't have one. Everybody thinks they were lying. They weren't lying. I was listening to this one guy. He had a client, a woman who was 320 pounds. And the only change that they made to her diet was he made her eat oatmeal in the mornings. That was the only thing, the only change that they made. And they did it for, I think, 3 to 4 months, around there somewhere. And in that 3 to 4 month range, that's the only change that she made. And she dropped down to 270 pounds, which is just remarkable. And the reason is because she added more bulk to her food, right? There's more fiber. She's getting in more fiber. She's getting more stretch reception in the stomach, and it's leading her to eat less from day to day. We need about 3 to 5 pounds of food each day in our stomach to get that stress reception to signal that we've had enough to eat. And you're just not going to get that with highly calorie dense foods. It's not going to happen. If you do eat those highly calorie dense foods, in turn, you're probably going to become overweight over time. So why is it that people can lose weight but they can't keep it off long term? A lot of the time when a person goes on a diet, they'll start eating healthier and they'll end up getting more fiber into their stomach than they were prior to their diet. And what happens is they get that stretch reception and it signals to the brain that they've had enough to eat, and you in turn start to lose weight over time. But what happens is a person that starts to gain the weight back after they've done the diet, it's because they've gone back to eating those highly calorie dense foods. You can't go back to doing what you were doing before because that's what got you there. So the main key to keeping your weight off is to keep eating the majority of your calories from natural foods, all right? Fruits, veggies, starches. You can include some meats in there if you like, and make sure the fiber is still intact. So if you take bananas but you blend them up into the blender, you're essentially chopping up the fiber that's in that banana, and you're not gonna feel as full because you've processed the food, okay? So when I'm doing my cutting or my weight cut, when I'm getting ready for my golf season in summer, I will follow a simple procedure of just going to fully fruits and vegetables, fruits and greens mainly, throughout the day. And I don't even intake starches because they're actually too high in calories and I'm trying to drop weight a little bit faster. But you can still eat them and drop weight, that's not a problem. But what I do is I eat a ton of fruit, a ton of green vegetables, and I take plant-based protein. I take the protein powder just to cover my protein requirements because it's really hard to get 150 grams of protein in when you're only eating fruits and vegetables. It's virtually impossible because you have to eat so much food, and I just can't eat that much. But I'm trying to drop my calorie total down by using fruits and vegetables as a source because they're so low in calories per pound versus eating the IIFYM style where they say you can eat whatever you want and you still lose weight as long as you're keeping your calories down, which is true, by the way, but it's just super hard to maintain because you gotta consciously be aware of how much you're eating at each meal. Versus when you're eating whole natural foods, you can really just eat, get full, and then walk away from the table. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. Hope you guys understood this, and hopefully you can get on a path where you start to lose weight and you can keep it off once you get to a point where you're really happy with yourself. So that's it. If you guys like this video, hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys later.